Okay, this is an update for August the 25th, 2015, and we're looking at this is the rainbow loop for the Hawaiian region, close-up of Hawaii, and what we're seeing here is a violent thunderstorm, a blast. This is a large thunderstorm that was moving in close to the Big Island, and all the islands actually, and we can see that it's being destroyed. There's a really good blast pattern here. That HAARP transmitter hit the center of this storm and it blew it apart. And we can see the blast pattern and pretty good shock wave. Let's go look at this in the. This is the water vapor loop, and we can see the blast pattern and a lot of violent activity around the edges of this storm, indicating a HAARP blast from above, right up here. They hit that with hot air, and it just evaporates all the water vapor in the storm. Okay, let's go look at this in the visible light mode now, and we can see the ring right here. There's a blast ring, a HAARP ring right there. You can see that. Okay, and then that storm just disappears. It just evaporates. The center implodes after it's hit by that high energy RF. Okay, all right. All right, let's go and look at the big picture. This is the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We've got 4 spinning low pressures here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the most powerful of them. This is moving out of the Aleutian Island area, or the Bering Sea area, and it's being blocked by a HAARP transmitter that's pinned to high pressure right here. We've got a HAARP transmitter generating a very strong high pressure right here, and all that moisture is going around and down and feeding into this low pressure spinning system right here. And then the other part of that moisture field is feeding this system here, which is being hit by a HAARP transmitter. We can see that. And then the rest of it is spinning down, moving down here and out towards the west, towards California. And there's another little low right here, it's trying to spin up counterclockwise. That's being hit by a HAARP transmitter there as well. We can see the dark area right there. So they're hitting that with heat, they're hitting this with heat, and both of these. This is about a 991 millibar. They call this a gale, and it's bringing a lot of moisture in down into the central Pacific. And so what's happening as a result of that and the jet stream flow pattern is that this high pressure is now being built in right here, and it's starting to push all this moisture out of California. Today in Los Angeles we had overcast, stormy looking skies all day. It was a monsoonal, sort of a moist, humid monsoonal thunderstorm flow. There was just a few sprinkles in various parts, but not even measurable rain. And we did see chemical aerosols being sprayed over the tops of the storms, the storm clouds that were moving in from the east. Everything was moving sort of from the south east into California from this direction. And so the airplanes, the jets were out spraying the skies with chemical aerosol chemtrails to prevent the convection of these storms. And so there was no rain in the LA area to speak of. All right, now what's happening here is that this moisture field is coming down, and in order to prevent that rain from falling in California, the people that are running the transmitters have put a high pressure here, and that'll block all this moisture from the west out here. Next, there's some high pressure here causing all that clockwise movement, and the forecasters on television tonight were saying that this high could move to the west, in which case that would bring some of this moisture with it. So we'll just keep an eye on all that and do an update later on. We've got a new tropical storm down here. This is Ignacio. This is moving about 6 miles an hour to the west, and it's forecast to pass right over the Hawaiian Islands by Monday. Let's go look at that on the map. All right, this is the National Hurricane Center map, and this is Ignacio here, and they're saying it's going to go right over Hawaii, pretty close to it. Could go to the north, and we'll get to see another storm blown apart by the HAARP transmitters if that happens. All right, so let's go and look at the big map again. You can see that that's a fairly large tropical storm, Ignacio, right there. And there's also a disturbance right over here, or actually it's over here, I think. That is forecast to become a hurricane in about 2 days, 50% chance. Okay, meantime, these storms right here, this one is being blown apart, and that one right there is being blown apart. Let's go look at those right now. This is the southwest water vapor loop. This pinwheel, the center of this pinwheel is right around where the pinpoint is at the border of Arizona and New Mexico, and this would have wrapped around into California right over the Colorado River area and dumped a lot of rain and filled up those reservoirs and dams all along the Colorado River right here. And that didn't happen. They killed that storm. And this one here is being blown apart as well. That one right there. You can see the bottom being blown out of that one. Look at that. Okay, well let's look at this in the rainbow map. You can see the thing is just blown apart right there. Let's look at this also in the visible light mode. You can see a clear blast pattern right here. A violent high velocity shock wave moving out of the bottom of that cell right there. Let's watch it again. Okay, now let's go back to the water vapor mode, and we can see that the entire storm implodes after it's hit. You see that shock wave, and then the entire center implodes. Now that would have spun around and brought some good rain into California. So obviously people running these transmitters are very intent on keeping the rain out of California. Okay, let's move on. This is the East Pacific water vapor loop. We noticed that a lot of that rain going into Arizona, they didn't stop that, but anything going into California, they stop it cold. They don't let much rain into California. So I hope everybody's paying attention to what's happening there. Okay, this storm right here is being blown apart, and we'll get to see that. There's a pretty good shock wave showing up there. Let's go look at that. Let's see here. Yeah, we can see that right there. Right where the tip of that pen is where the shock wave ends. It comes all the way out into the ocean and ends right about where the tip of the pen is. And there's two of them. There's one there coming out, and then the second one comes out. So there's about maybe a half hour to an hour time lapse between the first one and the second one, and then that storm just implodes. But that shock wave comes out probably a couple of 100 miles at least, right off of that shoreline right there, Mexican shoreline. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is the wide shot. We see a lot of thunderstorms out here by Hawaii. This is being blown apart, and this one right here looks like it's being blown apart. This is a storm that's it's sort of moving to the north east, and it looks like it's being hit. You can see a blast pattern right along the north side of that storm right there. Okay, keep an eye on that as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and do another update tomorrow.